Hi and welcome. I'm Lisa. Thanks for joining me for another card making tutorial. Today I have two fun Thanksgiving cards to share and an easy background that's ideal for these hilarious turkey images. Whimsy Stamps just released the Gobble This stamp set and coordinating outline dies. These items are sold separately. Both of the items are linked directly below in the description box for you if you want to check them out. Now, the die set includes dies for the turkeys and the solid stamped sentiments. Now, I colored the two images in this set off screen to save a little bit of time. And trust me when I say there is absolutely nothing fancy happening there. So I'm going to set this aside for now and we're going to move on to those easy backgrounds. I'm starting with 80-pound white card panels that are 3¼ inches wide by 4½ inches high. A piece of masking paper that is cut to the same size as the card panels. I'm going to run the masking paper and one of Whimsy Stamp's wavy nested frame dies through my die cutting machine to create a stencil. Now I'll hang on to the cutout and use it at a later time. I'm going to remove the release paper from the masking paper and cover one of the card panels. Now, I try to always cut my masking paper to the same size as the panel because it makes centering a no-brainer. I have the masking paper sticky side up so I can line the card panel up. I'm going to flip it over and burnish along the die cut edges with my fingers, making sure that the masking paper is firmly in place. Now I'm ready to apply my ink and I'm using a blender brush along with Memento peanut brittle ink. I'm going to fill in the entire negative area to create my easy background for these turkeys. Now if you want to do different colors and blend them, you most certainly can. I've seen a few rainbow backgrounds recently in a shape close to this, but I knew I had the dies and I could create a simple DIY stencil using them, and I decided to keep with colors that I associate with Thanksgiving, but you most certainly can do whatever color you prefer. So this is the second panel. Just follow the same steps to apply the masking paper, but this time I'm using Memento rhubarb stock ink with a little bit of that peanut brittle to one side. And again, this is just what I prefer, and it's at this point where you can take this technique and make it your own. So now that the easy backgrounds are finished, we'll set those aside and start working on the card base. Now I'm placing an A2 110-pound card base over the Whimsy Stamps Exclamation background cling stamp. I'm adding repositionable tape to the back of the card base. I'm going to close the MISTI and then flip it over, and then I'll be ready to stamp the background. Now I'm using VersaFine Clair PINECONE ink for this. You could use whatever ink you have available. It just so happens that I love the VersaFine Clair inks. I do wish they would come in different colors, or should I say more colors. So while I have all the supplies here at my fingertips, I'll go ahead and stamp my sentiments. I'm using that same PINECONE ink, but instead of using my MISTI, I use acrylic blocks. In my opinion, it's just faster. Now, once I have the sentiment stamped, I'm going to grab the outline die for that censored sentiment, and I'm going to line that up, use my Scotch removable tape to hold the die in place. I'll also use Whimsy Stamp's comic speech bubble dies to cut out that butterball sentiment. Again, Scotch removable tape to hold that in place while I crank it through my machine. And here you can see the coordinating outline die leaves a nice border around that solid stamped sentiment. And I love the comic speech bubbles. I think they are great to give your characters life, letting them share their thoughts. I think I might do a video that dives deeper into the do's and don'ts of speech bubbles. Now I'll use my paper trimmer to go ahead and cut the remaining sentiments out. Tape to the back of my panel, and I'm going to center that on the stamped card base. Next, I'll add foam adhesive to the turkey and sentiments and place them on the card. Now you could do a bunch of these cards at one time, use different colors on each card to make them a little bit different. I decided for the second card, it would be fun to create a frame around that easy background panel using the WTF sentiment from the Gobble This stamp set. So I center the panel on a card base, and I'm going to use my acrylic block and the PINECONE ink again And I'm going to carefully stamp this directly onto the card base around that panel. Then to finish this card, I'm going to add foam adhesive to the turkey and sentiment and arrange it on my card. And that's going to be a wrap for us today. Now let me know what you think about the Gobble This stamp set in the comments below. For more information on the products you've seen in this video, you can click the links directly below to head over to the Whimsy Stamps website to check it out. I do appreciate you so much for spending time with me today, and until next time, please take care.